What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video, another quick take. I got my brother, Adrian. What up?
Yo, what's going on, everybody? How
What's
you? How you?
happening? What's happening? So, we got a situation that I've been hearing about over the last couple of days, and I've been seeing it a lot on Twitter. So, we've got an article courtesy of Yahoo Sports that says Ja Morant suspended from Grizzlies for 2 games after posing with gun on Instagram. The article goes on to say Ja Morant was the subject of a detailed story earlier this week, which alleged his involvement in 3 violent off-court incidents. Saturday, the team announced he has been suspended for 2 games after he became the subject of an investigation by the NBA concerning his actions on an early Saturday morning Instagram Live. Instagram Live videos delete when they conclude, but his social media activity was screen recorded, screenshotted, and recirculated on the internet. And basically, it says Morant appeared to be recording from a strip club after the Grizzlies' 113-97 road loss to the Denver Nuggets Friday night. In the video, Morant appears to hold a firearm to the side of his head and flash it repeatedly. So since then, Ja apologized and issued a statement via his agent saying, "I take full responsibility for my actions last night. I'm sorry to my family, teammates, coaches, fans, partners, the city of Memphis, and the entire Grizzlies organization for letting you down. I'm going to take some time away to get help and work on learning better methods of dealing with stress and my overall well-being." My boy, what are your thoughts on this situation, man?
All right, number one, the apology issued via agent. That is complete bullshit. I hope everybody understands and knows that that is complete bullshit. All right, what I see when I see John Morant is a simple case of I I I looked up to certain people and I wanted to do certain things, but I couldn't do it naturally, so I'm gonna do it through basketball because I was actually good at that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, bro, like you're making everyone has said it at this point. It's definitely gotten back to him. I don't know who this guy sees on a regular basis, who he speaks to on a regular basis, or whatever, friends, family, whatever. But from what I'm seeing through his actions, he don't have anybody in his corner telling him, yo, bro, like
Mm-hmm.
stop the bullshit and play some and just play basketball. Make your investments, get your money right for your kids and future kids or whatever the case may be, and just go win a chip in Memphis, bro. Stop all the bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
This man is not like that. Obviously, people grow and get influenced by certain things, and maybe he wants to be, but when
Right.
some but when certain things are just not in your heart to do so, you can see it, bro. You in a strip club flashing a blicky, bro. Stop it. Stop it.
Right. Yeah.
Ain't no bro, like ain't no real niggas outside doing this, bro.
Right.
The only time you see a blicky or stick, bro, anything is when you go and use it. You flashing it in the strip club, bro. Like,
Right.
what are you like? You look corny. You
Yeah.
the starting point guard of the Memphis Grizzlies. Go win a chip. Go build a legacy in basketball and stop messing around with all this nonsense. Like, bro, you not like
Yeah.
you are like you can't act like you in high school, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You in the
Yeah.
NBA. You aren't playing overseas. You aren't playing in Africa. You're not playing in China, in Korea. You're playing in the NBA, bro. The world is watching you. The world loves you. The world sees you, bro. Like, stop. You don't have
Right.
to feed for attention no more. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
crazy to me.
Well, but you know what's funny? Because I didn't really want to say anything at first because I didn't know what was really going on. Because I saw Shannon Sharp basically saying like kind of what you said, like this dude has all of this going on for himself and he wants to be a thug. You know what I'm saying? And this is coming off the heels of the whole Michael B. Jordan, being corny and stuff like that. Now, my thing is this: what Ja Morant is doing to me is the definition of corny. Because I can understand if, let's say, you was already on that type of time, doing that type of stuff before you got to the league or when you was younger, but
Facts.
you wasn't doing that before. And this is
Facts.
a pure example of when people get money, then it's like with all of that millions of dollars, they could afford to be the type of nigga that they always wanted to be. Knowing damn well it wasn't like that before. Because my
Facts.
thing is this: Google John Morant daughter. He's got a beautiful 3-year-old daughter and a white girl, saying for a girlfriend, for a wife, or whatever it is that she is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what? It's like, how do you have all of that going for yourself? And it's like you look in the mirror and say, this isn't enough. I gotta start getting grills. I gotta start going to the strip club. I gotta get guns and all of the things that could pretty much put my whole livelihood in jeopardy. That to me is corny because him doing that, it's like he wants to be cool, but in reality, we're laughing at you, John. We're not laughing with you. You know what I'm saying? We're not laughing with you. You look lame. You look corny, in my opinion, because I feel like what's
Nah,
really cool,
that's a valid opinion.
right? Because what to me is the definition of cool is when you're authentically yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't rock with people who are trying to be something that they're not, and it is blatantly obvious that you're trying to be something that you're not. Because looking at that video and shit that I seen, it's like he's just like who you trying to be? Who you pretending to be? Like how old is John Morant? If you know,
Yo, bro, I don't know how.
all
24
right,
maybe.
all right, yeah. So let's say like early mid 20s. Now my thing is this: like I don't respect people who they spend their whole entire lives on character select. If you know what I'm talking about, like for people who play video games, you know what I mean? Like you'll play
Yep.
Smash Bros. Or you play Sonic Adventure, and then the game will ask you, who do you want to be? And then this dude is like still trying to be mad different people. And the type of dude that he's trying to be is and me personally, I don't think he's gonna get booted from the league, but I think he's gonna start spiraling if this doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? Because you
Yeah.
want to hang out with Migos, you want to hang out with Lil Baby, Da Baby, freaking all of these rappers. I didn't even know their names because you want to be like them. For what?
Oh my gosh, bro. And it's funny because I can't remember if it was you or my cousin
Mm-hmm.
when we spoke on this, and it's like even referring to, like you said, he want to hang out with the Migos and all these other rappers, Meek Mill, whatever, like whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, bro, even to like those rappers, like once you get to a certain, financial bracket, why do you still want to do all the bullshit you used to do? You have a whole world to explore. As John Morant, I get it. You got money. Maybe even I'll give him that. Maybe he was that way before basketball. Maybe he was always that guy. Maybe he's that guy. Right? Why not try to do other shit? Why are you
Yeah.
keeping yourself limited to the same things you were always doing your entire life? Which again, I don't think he was really doing anyway.
Yeah,
But
I don't think so, to be honest with you.
no, bro. I've
No.
seen pictures, bro. I've seen pictures of him before, like way before this, like when he was like younger, bro. This dude needs to just stop. Like you said, he's corny, bro. Like
Yeah.
like before all of this, I said to myself, yo, Ja is actually nasty. Like I fuck with like what I see on the court, mad passionate, showing mad energy on the court, going crazy.
He's
You know what I'm
that dude
saying?
in the
All of that.
league, especially he just got to the league in recent years. So for him
That's
to
what I'm
have all of
saying,
this
bro.
buzz, for him to have all of this buzz behind his name, like that's rare. So it's like capitalize
That's
on
what I'm
that, but he's
saying, bro.
capitalizing on it on the worst in the worst kind of way. Because just the
Yeah.
other day, it was when they said that it says in the suit, the plaintiff accused him of punching a 17-year-old male during a pickup basketball game at Morant's house in July of that year. So this was last year. And it said Morant and the 17-year-old had reportedly engaged in a verbal altercation during the game, and the 17-year-old accidentally hit Morant. Morant then punched the 17-year-old and knocked him to the ground, after which he struck him an additional number of times. When responding, officials questioned him. Morant claimed that he acted in self-defense and stated that the 17-year-old had threatened him immediately following the incident. Like, me, in my opinion, and you've heard me say this before, like, you got all of that money, you should be able to afford to stay out of trouble. It's like I can't imagine me being this top tier NBA all-star and then I can't avoid situations like that. Because you're only gonna get into it with a 17-year-old if he's a nigga you don't know. Clearly, this was a dude that he had at his house that he didn't even know like that. If I
That's what
know
I'm saying.
somebody, then something like that is not gonna happen. But again, Morant strikes me as the type of guy. John strikes me as the type of guy that's gonna have randoms at his crib. Probably, rappers do that. We have mad
Yeah.
people at their house, randoms.
Yep. And again, you have again, it's who the person is, bro. Like Draymond Green, we all know Draymond's passionate about basketball, whatever the case may be. He gets into it with other players, like on the court, all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when he's off the court, you don't see Draymond doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Even when he punched Jordan Poole in the face, whatever the case may be. Again, passionate
That's
basketball.
not how he
Still,
lives his life.
that's not how he lives his life. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
this, bro. Like I just can't believe that you're arguably one of the top best point guards in the league right now, and in the future, potentially that argument can turn into one of the best point guards ever. And you want to be doing this
And you know what's funny? The niggas
for what,
that are the guys that are in the video with him, they look like straight Henny niggas, bro. On top of that, like these
bro?
don't even look like good, like solid dudes. And then you got
But
the
that's
strippers in the background. Nah.
yeah, but it's like that's the point. It's like, yo, bro, you in the league and you want those type of niggas for validation, bro. It's just like at this point in
What are they doing with
2023,
themselves?
bro, what are they doing with themselves, bro? But on top of that, bro, we all know how the story goes with dudes like that, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You fuck around with Henny niggas, bro. You end up getting caught up in some bullshit. You lose everything. For what? For
Yeah.
what? And even if he doesn't, bro, again, that's not you. That's not who Ja is. Anyway, league scene was good. You know what I'm saying? They on it, taking care of it. But again, like to those out there watching, yo, there's nothing wrong with being yourself. Being yourself, you're gonna attract who is supposed to come to you and be in your life. Don't go acting out of character just to get validation from other people because you may or may not look up to them or whatever the case may be. Let alone any niggas at that.
Right. Who is the basketball player? I don't know if he plays for Houston, but he used to play in Cleveland. Was it Porter something? Porter Jr.?
Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna use him as an example. Isn't he a player that has had like a complicated past, like prior
Yeah,
to
yeah,
getting to the league or
yeah,
during?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
See, I would expect something like this to come from a guy like that who has already like had issues, prior. You get what I'm saying? But again, like I said at the beginning, if you wasn't that type of guy, then you shouldn't be doing that, period, whether you have money or not. Because like that's like if me, like me, what I'm saying? You're my best friend. So somebody like me. If I were to go and get money, then all of a sudden you see me flashing guns and you see me hanging out with these thugs, you're gonna be like, yo, bro, what are you doing?
I'm gonna violate you, bro. I'm
You
gonna
ain't
be
gonna
honest
you,
with you.
you ain't gonna violate nothing, but you're gonna know that it's not authentic, that I'm
That's
not being
I don't I
myself.
don't I don't really mean violating that term. I'm saying like I'm gonna check you like yo, bro, like that's not you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like I know you. You should like you
right,
don't be acting like that. And if you don't want
right,
to hear it, then you know what I'm saying that's on you. But
right.
that's not who you are. And
Yeah.
again, just to reiterate, again to those watching this and hearing this, John Morant is not like that. He's not like that, bro.
I'm
Like
looking at a baby picture or a family picture with him, his girlfriend, and his baby. Like I said, you're not a thug dude. At least I don't think thug gangster guys really take pictures like that. So
not even that, bro. But it's like all the real niggas know, bro. Like you're not going in the strip club and flashing your blicky, bro. You're not doing that. Like that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. No hood nigga I've ever came across in my life, bro, ever did anything like that. Mind you, I know niggas that got stuff like that, and it's like they don't even move like that. So why are you?
well, what's funny? What I'm curious about is like what is his pops doing? Like, his dad, who you always see him like courtside next to all the celebrities and stuff. He kind of looks like Usher. He almost got into it with Shannon Sharp. And you know what's funny? I feel like for this to be happening and maybe his father to be that close, I think maybe his dad is also letting the fame and all of that get to his head too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
True,
Because
true, true
think about
say.
it. Yeah. Like if you're my pops and let's say we have a good relationship, then you should be, that shoulder angel that's going to be like, nah, like I know you want to do this, but don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot to live for and all of this. If he's gonna listen to anybody, he should be listening to his pops, who again is probably not saying anything either.
Right. And even when you look at like that whole pops, comparison, look at LeVar Ball and his children. Whenever he gets on the mic, yeah, he might say arrogant things or, boastful things about his son that some people might take offense to. But at the end of the day, he's like I've seen the side of LeVar that doesn't
He gonna
condone
look out
bullshit.
for his sons. He gonna look
He
out for
he
his
he
sons.
he looks out for them. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and to each his own when it comes to parenting, sure, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there has to be some form of logical reasoning in Ja's father's head that should be telling him, yo, like calm down a little bit. But at the same time, if his father can't hold keep it together enough to not go at it with Shannon Sharp at a basketball game, maybe his father's again, like you said, the fame getting to his head too. I wouldn't be
Facts.
surprised.
Oh, because you gotta
And
understand. It's like when they say, um, people who get money, it just amplifies who they were the whole entire time. I think that's really the case. Or it allows you, like I said earlier, to afford to be the person you couldn't have
I think it's
afforded
the
to be
latter.
before that.
I'm gonna push for the latter because again,
What I just
Ja,
said, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For what I saw in past interviews with Ja Morant, bro, and to see where he's coming from and all that type of shit, bro, like nah, nah. He's not that money ain't amplifying nothing. He's not that guy.
Facts.
I don't like using that term from that, meme and everything, but he's really
Mm-hmm.
not. Like he's
Right.
really not.
Yeah, well, I'm
Absolutely
gonna
not.
say I'm gonna say this, just to be devil's advocate to a very small extent, is because John Morant is 23. That's the only thing, saying that I'll say, because when I was 23, I didn't know shit either. Like I can't even fathom who I was at 23 versus who I am now. There's a lot of shit that I did at 23 that I wouldn't do now at 29 years old. So I'll say that, because there are certain things that you have to go through, in your early 20s, so that way you won't do that shit in your late fucking 20s.
That
So
is
I'll
that is
give
true.
him that. I will only give him that. Because you would think that, let's say, that wisdom is accelerated because of the lifestyle that you live and the opportunities that you're exposed to, or the environments that you're exposed to. So you would think that because you're rubbing shoulders with LeBron and saying Kevin Durant and whomever he's around, that you would think that these people would have put him on game when he was 20, 21, 22 when he first got in the league. Clearly that's not the case. So these are just the things that, again, when you come into a certain status and you come into a certain wealth, you don't know how you're going to react. So, in one aspect, after talking about it this much, I don't like, yeah, I could pass judgment. I could say, yeah, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. But then again, you don't know a lot of people until they get rich. And then you see how, I'm saying, how they'll start to act. So I would rather Ja be going through this now at 23 than him to go through it at 28 or 27.
That's a fair statement. Um,
That was
but
real.
again, but again, right? So you're in the league with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, a bunch of different personalities, Kevin Durant. All of those players act, very different, from what we see, But when you're a top prospect in the NBA, you're followed very closely, like from like early on in your life, high school, college, and then eventually when you make it to the NBA draft, and then so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But again, in those interviews with John Morant, like I said, like his first 2 years in the league, I watched him play with that passion. The same passion that I saw him play with, in college, like going back and all that. And it's like I never saw this side ever pop up out of him.
You know why?
You know what I'm saying?
You know
It's
why?
like, yeah, good.
Yeah, you know
Why?
why? Because it's like when you introduce certain like stimuli and like variables into somebody's life, they're gonna grow. You know what I'm saying? So it's like fame, being like one of the most lit top prospects in the NBA, and then versus your perception of him before that. Remember, I always say people don't change, people grow, but people grow in the right or wrong direction. So he's grown since that John Morant that you're talking about, your previous perception of him, and then he grew in the wrong direction. That's why.
That's that's
That's that's
that's
that's
that's
precisely why.
that's a fair statement, but at the same time, even when again, like I said, when you actually know like certain henny niggas and hood niggas that are actually living this life, right? They're the first niggas to tell you, bro, like you don't pop outside showing this shit. You don't pop outside doing all this kind of nonsense. Like you
No,
don't go
because
on
he's not like
IG
that.
live.
Yeah, because he's not like that, because he's flashing a gun. But I'm pretty sure if there was a gunfight that were to occur right where he was at, he's gonna be running. He's not gonna stay and shoot because he's not built like that. He's a basketball player. He's a basketball player. I doubt if he could even fight. He's not built like that. It's just for show. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just to show how tough he is, or to build up his perception. Because if you look at how John Morant dresses and presents us, he looked like a rapper.
Hmm. Hmm. Man, he like I said, the statement that he gave his agent to go out there and say is bullshit, but he do need some.
Well, hey, the way that life works is that this the response to that video and stuff like that to me is a warning, and you get heed warnings or you can ignore them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Things can
that's
go,
true.
yeah, things can go smooth from here. It all depends on him, or things can go worse. It's all
Yeah,
on him because we're looking at him from an aspect of like, look at all that he's got for himself, and this is what he's doing with it. So of course, we know what we do given those circumstances, but him, it's like his whole path to the NBA was kind of laid out for him from a young age. Really, if all you gotta do is just read his Wikipedia page. You know how some people, NBA players, it's like they were just born to be in the NBA. Like
yeah.
LeVar Ball's fucking kids. Like their whole life was led up to that point. So they probably weren't exposed to not having shit. You know what I'm saying? The way other people just don't have certain things in life. Like he doesn't know. Because people that know, they're not going to put their livelihood in jeopardy. But because he doesn't know that, that's why he's doing certain shit. So maybe he's going to have to get into more trouble for me to realize, damn, this is what I had. I hope not. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a young black man just like we are. I hope not. But if that does happen, then I'm not going to feel bad for him at all. Like he will not get any sympathy from me. If some shit like this happens again, X amount of months from now or next year, whatever, that nigga will not get not 1 ounce of sympathy from me whatsoever. Because it's like, again, when you got like a kid, and you would know out of everybody, once you have a kid, your whole like life like changes at that point. Like your whole mentality and approach towards life should change. There's no way I'm gonna have a daughter or a son, and I'm gonna be out here acting a fool. I'm
and
not.
that's the point where it's like that's where it's like even right now it's at this moment it's hard to still give him any sympathy from that aspect because
No.
like at this point obviously you're playing basketball, living your dream, trying to bring a chip to Memphis, what I'm saying, all that good stuff. That's fine, but either on the same level if not above basketball, bro, your daughter should be at the forefront of your mind, like always. That's the next job. That's your continuation. And you gonna show her that? The world's already gonna show her, bullshit as it is. And you want to add to it?
Yeah, but Ja just strikes honestly our whole entire conversation. He really just now like my the way that I'll like pin him or peg him is he's just a guy who just hasn't lived enough life yet. Like he hasn't had like those like life moments and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Like you can look at your life and you'll think of like those landmark moments in your personal timeline and your personal journey. This nigga's whole life has been basketball. So now he's starting to live life outside of basketball. Because niggas that they want to make it to the league, that's pretty much all they do. From middle school, high school, college, it's all basketball. Yeah, they might have time for fun, maybe here and there, some leisure, but everything is to get to the league. So now he's there. Now he's starting to spread his wings and try to figure out who he is outside of basketball. And this is the persona that he wants. That nigga hasn't lived enough life yet. Because when I was 23, I hadn't lived enough life yet to know, yo, there's certain things you shouldn't say. There's certain things that you shouldn't fucking do. I had more growing to do. So, you know what I'm saying? It's on him, the type of nigga that he's going to be, you know what I'm saying, next year. But if he's doing some shit, you know what I'm saying, in 2024, the same type of bullshit, hey, we're still going to be laughing at him because you go on Twitter, everybody's laughing at him. People are making jokes. He's a meme now. People are like, yo, all you got to do, like all you got to do is like inconvenience John anyway. He's going to pull a gun on you. We're not laughing with you. Yeah, like he doesn't come off cool. So it's like you would think he's doing shit to be cool, to appeal cool, but nigga, you look corny. You look fake. Fake. Because like, yo, I want to be my authentic self, whether I have status, money, or not.
Or not,
what I'm saying? Because it's like all of a sudden, oh, you give me some bread, and then I start to treat motherfuckers like dirt, or I start to talk a certain way and shit like that. Like, especially to like my own niggas, people that know me, they're gonna be like, yo, who you trying to be? Who you trying to be?
Yeah,
It's
man.
because
Like
again
you
that
said,
I lived life. I lived enough life and learned from the shit that I went through to be like, yeah, nah, that's not the way. But Ja has to find that because his pops clearly ain't the one telling him that shit. The
facts.
niggas that he's hanging around, they probably don't even have a GED. Like I don't even think they finished high school. So what do you
Nah,
expect?
facts.
You know, some knowledge and information you're gonna get from motherfuckers that look like that.
Nah, facts. And the worst thing about it is hanging around niggas like that. If you don't know him that well, bro, like you said, he bringing around niggas to his crib that he's fighting or whatever the case may be. You know, if you hanging around dudes that you don't really know like that, they could start plotting on you behind your back and you
Recipe
won't
for
even know.
disaster. He
And
probably
you won't
paying
even
them.
know.
He probably paying them. Because these are like thug gangster dudes. They look like the type of guys that'd be like, yo, Adrian, you can't come to LA unless you check in. That's how they strike me at. And he probably cutting them checks. You think those thug guys that Chris Brown, hangs out with, you don't think he's breaking bread with them? He's
Nah, of
giving them
course.
money. He's giving them money. So they feel like, oh, I'm tough because I'm associated with Bloods and Crips and this and that. And then they're being extorted. Because the minute they stop, giving them, maybe a few thousand
It's
or however,
quiet.
they're giving them,
Quiet.
like you said, they're gonna start plotting on them. And that's when you hear, oh, I'm getting, this rapper getting robbed, this rapper got robbed, or this basketball player got into this situation, that situation.
That's it. And again, when you put yourself in that scenario and you're not built like that, it's going to turn out very, very bad for you. It's going to be very, very bad for you. I've seen it countless times.
Right.
I'm telling you, I've seen it myself with my own eyes, bro.
Yeah.
People who are not built like that, trying to force themselves to be in scenarios like that their spirit cannot handle. If you're not like that, if you don't have that heart, once that moment comes, there's going to be too much internal conflict, and everyone's going to see you for who you really are, and it's not this type of job we're seeing. But
Man.
like you
Let
said,
John Morant be somewhere and a shootout break out. That nigga's gonna run. That nigga's not
mhm,
shooting no shots. That nigga's not shooting no shots. That nigga's gonna fucking evacuate immediately. So if I was him, I wouldn't even be brandishing no motherfucking guns and stuff like that. Because me, if I have guns and shit like that, them shits is not to for me to be showing off. That's for me to
facts.
like
And
use
on
if I
top of that,
have to fucking use it because there's nothing cool about killing somebody. Ja,
exactly,
like
exactly.
like what am I implying by brandishing a gun? Like you said earlier, like niggas who are really about that shit, yo, they're like, yo, nah, we don't even do that because there's nothing cool about doing that shit. The niggas that actually are showing off hot boys and shit like that, those are the niggas that once they get in a dangerous situation, they panic and they run. That niggas fight or flight, that nigga's going straight flight. Straight
You know,
flight.
just
Straight
to
flight.
quote, Pop Smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like in an interview he had, when tough guys are around other tough guys, they know to keep it quiet because somebody gonna die. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's at
That's
stake.
that's it. Everybody knows. You don't have to do that. If you really like that, bro, you don't have to do anything like that.
Yeah. Well, let's see how, saying this the Ja saga freaking unfolds, with time, saying we'll see. But what are your thoughts? Please be sure again to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.